Good afternoon. Today is the 6th of January and it's time to look at something that I know at least one of my subscribers very much enjoys. That is the top 10 best-selling cars of December 2020. Before you ask, we're not actually going to get into the overall figures for 2020 as opposed to 2019 until another video that you'll see next week. We're just going to look at December 2019 compared with December 2020 and see what increase or decrease there was in a number of categories. Now, I say this every time and it's worth saying again because there are some new subscribers since we last looked at the top 10 best-selling cars in the previous month. That was for cars of November 2020. So, for example, here I've got private, fleet and business sectors compared with December 2019. So the percentage change between 2020 and 2019 was minus 14%. That means for the private sector, it's just talking about private registrations. When I say sales, by the way, I just mean registrations because that's the way that the Society for Motor Manufacturers and Traders actually records their information. I call it sales, but registrations is more accurate. But I don't like using that term all the time, so we're just going to call it sales. So there's a percentage change in the private sales between December 2019 and December 2020 of minus 14%. That means there's 14% fewer cars sold in the same period year upon year. Next category is for fleet registrations, and there's been an 8.3 percentage decrease in fleet sales in the same period between December 19 and December 2020. Business sales, this isn't a very big sector of the market at all. The market share actually is 2.8%. I mean, private is 35.6%, fleet's 61.7%. So business is a very small category in this country, and it's a 25.7% decrease. If we now look at the fuel categories between December 2019 and December 2020, virtually all of these have had significant changes. With diesel, the market share is now just under 12%. It used to be in 2019 22.3%, so it's a 52.5% decrease. With mild hybrid diesels, this is a lot of diesels now, such as the Kia Sportage diesel. The 2-litre one is a mild hybrid. Same lot of Audis as well, and numerous others. Percentage change of that is plus 47.1, so that the percentage change for normal diesels is minus 52.5. This is plus 47.1, and the market share of this is 4.3%. Last year it was, 2019 December was 2.6. Petrol's seen also a significant change. This is purely petrol fuel cars with no electrification. In December 2019, this was a market share of 62.4%, and last month 44.1%. It's a 37% decrease. With mild hybrid petrol, this is everything from Volkswagen Golfs to Suzuki Vitaras now. There's so many, but not the hybrids like a Toyota Corolla, for example. This is a tiny little thing that usually has about 1 horsepower or something like that. Just really is like a integrated starter generator, that sort of thing. That was in December 2019 a 2.7% market share. It's now a 10.3% market share. That's an increase of 245%. I'll let that sink in. 245%. There is indisputably one principal reason for this, and that's the European Union average fleet emissions figures for, I think, 2021, or they might have already come in actually for 2020. They mandate that you must have an average CO2 emissions across your range of cars of less than 95 grams per kilometre. So some manufacturers like Ferrari have got around this by being a bit smaller. Other manufacturers, I think Fiat Chrysler, have got this by claiming that Tesla is actually part of their range and buying emissions credits from them. But that's the reason why so many mild hybrid models have come onto the market. Suzuki have put mild hybrids in all of their cars now, for example. I think possibly with one exception, which is the Swift, because I think I've still got an engine without one, but everything else in the Suzuki lineup is a mild hybrid. Battery electric vehicles, this is cars like, Teslas and Jaguar I-Pace and the MG ZS EV, the MG5 EV, and the Vauxhall Corsa E, and just loads and loads, just pure electric cars. Now in December 2019, the market share for these was very low. It was 3.3%, which I thought at the time was quite remarkable. It's now 16.5%. So 16.5% of all cars now sold in this country are fully electric cars. Clearly, we've got this deadline coming up in 2030 that, virtually all cars will have to be fully electric. I think there's one or two exceptions perhaps for some forms of hybrid, plug-in hybrids, but this is showing really, really quickly. Now, that's a percentage change of 344% increase. A 344% increase in the number of fully electric cars sold between December 2019 and December 2020. Crazy. So next we've got plug-in hybrids. This is things like the Vauxhall Crossland X and the MGHS plug-in hybrid that I've covered on the channel quite recently. And there are many others now. This is again an increase. The market share for these in December 2019 was 3.3%, just 3%. It's now 7%. That's a 103% increase. Wow. That's pretty remarkable. Of course, then we've got the just normal hybrids, which is stuff like the Toyota Corollas and everything like that. We'll just take a pause here. My data's just vanished off my screen. Just hold on a second. Sorry about that. Yes, hybrid electric vehicles. That's a classic example. The new Honda Jazz, that's a full hybrid. So is the Toyota Corolla, Toyota Prius, apart from the plug-in version. Loads of others too. Market share of this in December 2019 was 3.7%. It's now 6%. So even this, which you think is possibly an endangered species given the new legislation in this country, that is now a 44.5% increase. So percentage change in the market in December 2019 to 2020 is actually not as big a decrease as I thought it might be, considering that actually the decrease for the year 2019 to 2020 was a lot worse than this, and we'll get into that next week. It's about 11%. So yeah, December 2019 wasn't a huge month for cars anyway, but I suppose that mitigated it a little bit. But considering that there were a lot of places in tier 3 and 4 during December 2020, and also we were coming out of the the national lockdown, the second one at the beginning of the month, I don't personally think it's that bad. And there are some manufacturers, of course, who did rather well, and let's go and have a look at those in a second. Before we do, though, what is traditional in these videos is to look at the top 10 best-selling cars for December 2020. And after all, I think a lot of you would have tuned in just to hear this. And so here we go. Bestseller of all was the Tesla Model 3 with 5,798 sales. It's not the first time this has actually happened in 2020, but yes, nevertheless, there we go. Second, the Volkswagen Golf, 4,470. That's obviously the Mark 8. I don't think the Mark 7.5 are any stocks left anymore, actually. Third is the Ford Fiesta, perennial favourite, 3,376, 367, sorry. But now here's a real surprise. Another fully electrified car, and in this case a brand new one, the Volkswagen Id3, 3,188. I remember seeing one of these actually in Milton Keynes, I think it's called Id3 Shopping Centre. Obviously, Volkswagen are based in Milton Keynes these days, and yeah, 3,188 in December alone. That's actually beaten the Nissan Qashqai in 5th place. Now, the new Qashqai's not out yet, but the current one's still selling lots, and it kind of defines its segment, and people call it the Qashqai class. Whether or not it's a good car, I suppose, is up to you really. But there it is, 3,109. Next is the Corsa in 6th place, 3,029. So all these are pretty close together now. Next is a Vauxhall XC40, that's done very, very well this year, particularly with the Recharge version, which is a fully electric one, 2,909. Next is the A-Class, again another favourite of top 10, 2,761. Then the Ford Puma, 2,600 in 9th place. This data is wrong because it says it's equal 8th place with the A-Class, but it's not. It's actually different. And then right at the bottom of the top 10 is the Mini, 10th place, 2,532. Right, we're now on to my favourite part of these videos, when we look at how each brand is doing in an individual month. The way we do this, so I'll show you straight away. First one, as always, is Abarth. In 2020, they obviously December 2020, they sold 162 cars. The market share of that is 0.12%. That's a change of minus 1.82%. Anything which is above about 11%, sorry, minus 11%, is really good. So Alfa Romeo, they had a very good month last month. 284 cars sold, 0.21% market share, and a 41% increase. Fantastic. Alpine, it's negligible. I'm just going to skip over Alpine. Audi, they had quite a good month actually. 7,435 cars sold. That's a 5.6% market share and a decrease of 14.55%. Bentley, 144 cars. It's a 0.11% market share and 22.58% decrease. BMW sold just over 10,000 cars. Market share is about 7.8%. It's a 27% decrease. Citroen, not a manufacturer that's traditionally done that well actually in this country in the last couple of years. They sold 1,700 cars or so, 1.3% market share, and that is a 40.8% decrease. Cupra, there's no to compare against. They weren't on sale in 2019 at all, so we'll skip to Dacia. They had a terrible month last month. It's an 85% decrease. They only sold 360 cars or so at 0.27% market share. DS, again, not a strong performer in our market, particularly at the moment. They sold 243 cars, 0.18% market share. It's a 64% decrease. Fiat, not great for them either, unfortunately. 902 cars sold, 0.68% off the market share, and a 51% decrease. Ford, 11,500 cars sold. Obviously, they're the biggest brand still in this country. 8.7% market share, but still a 24% decrease. Honda, similar to Fiat, although they actually sell more cars in this country than Fiat now. They sold just under 1,400 cars. It's a 1.05% of market share and a 50.3% decrease. Hyundai, for some reason they don't do as well as Kia in our market, but it's interesting really. 3,400 cars sold, approximately 2.54% of the market share and an 11.4% decrease. Jaguar, a very good month for Jaguar for some reason. Maybe it's always I-Paces. A 2.55% of the market share, just under 3,400 cars sold, and an 82.5% increase. That's very, very good. Very, very good, Jaguar. Jeep, again, a very good month in complete contrast to Fiat, who are part of the same group. 534 cars sold, 0.4% of the market share, and a 43.2% increase. Kia, they didn't have a very good month at all for some reason. A 2.7% market share, 3,600 cars approximately sold, a 28% decrease. Land Rover, 4,550 cars sold, 3.4% market share, and a 5.38% increase. Very good. Lexus, another luxury brand, 750 cars sold approximately, 0.56% market share, and a 0.54% increase. Very good. Maserati, bucking the trend from normal, 59 cars sold, which isn't very much, but it's a 0.04% market share, but it's a 13.5% increase in last year. Mazda, 1,275 cars sold, 0.96% market share, 45.2% decrease. Mercedes-Benz, a very strong player in our market now, about 7,500 cars sold, 5.6% market share, and a 22.3% decrease. MG, this is a real surprise to them, just over 1,400 cars sold, 1.07% market share, but a 16.5% decrease on last year. They had a very strong December in 2019. Mini, that's 4,500 cars, 4,100 cars sold, 3.09% market share, and a 33% decrease. Mitsubishi, not a big player in our market anymore because they'll be pulling out by 2022, I think. 531 cars sold, 0.4% market share, 33% decrease. Nissan, a very strong month from Nissan. Don't know exactly why. Maybe some discounted cash guys. 7,124 cars sold, 5.37% market share, 34% increase. Peugeot, this isn't actually too bad. 5,400 cars sold, 4.06% market share, and a 6% decrease. That's not bad. Polestar, again, didn't sell any cars in 2019, so we can't compare really. Porsche, 2,200 cars sold, 1.64% market share. It's a lot bigger than a lot of other brands. It's bigger than Renault, and a 25.3% increase. Excellent. Renault, not great. 1,800 cars sold, 1.36% market share, which is smaller than Porsche, and a 62% decrease. Seat, a quite good month for them actually, because they've not been doing so well recently. 4,200 cars sold, 3.15% market share, and 13% increase. Very good. Skoda, 4,900 cars sold approximately, 3.68% market share, but a 60% decrease. Smart, who were hardly selling any cars at all in 2019, 89 cars sold, 0.07% market share, and a 134% increase. SsangYong, 65 cars sold, 0.05% market share, and about 10% decrease, but that's actually slightly above the average, so that's okay. Subaru, not so good. 128 cars sold, it's more than SsangYong. A 0.1% market share, but still minus 82% on the year before. Oh well. Suzuki, 1,300 cars sold, just under 1%, 0.96% market share, but a 54% decrease. It's because I think a lot of these mild hybrids, like the Suzuki's, are a lot more expensive than the ones they replace with different engine sizes and things. So that's probably it. Toyota, very popular brand in this country now. 5,700 cars sold, 4.3% market share, 21% increase. Vauxhall, again, a very good month for them. 7,300 cars sold, 17.2% increase, and a market share of about 5.5%. Volkswagen, wow, gosh. Let's just look at Ford again, because it's always something to compare against. No, Volkswagen have a bigger market share of last month for Ford. Here we go. 15,635 cars sold. Some of them are the Skoda Id3s. And yeah, 11.8% of the market now. Wow. And 6.45% increase. Very good. Volvo, again, a very good performance. 4,500 cars sold approximately, 3.4% market share, and 15.2% increase. Other imports, this is mainly Teslas. Teslas, for some reason, don't count on this graph separately. 6,400, 4.82% market share, and 122.76% increase. Yes, mainly Teslas, but there's some other stuff in there as well. So, yeah, a market decrease overall of about 11%. So there we go. The predictable continued rise of electrified cars. Quite strong performances from quite some unlikely manufacturers there, but some not doing very well at all. Bit of a mixed bag, really, last month. So, yes, join me next week for the top 10 best-selling cars of 2020 overall. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for that. If you want to turn on notifications and be informed of new videos that come out, then please do that. And also, the links to Facebook and Instagram accounts that I have are in the description below. Thank you.